Welcome to CodeSavvy, I'm Josh. Before we start coding our first application, let's take a look at xcode. So, uh, first after installing xcode, open it up, create a new one. Make sure under iOS application it's a single view application. We'll go through all of this in the meanwhile. Product name, we don't make sure you're not text storyboards. And if you want, you can use iPad or iPhone. I prefer iPad. Next, you can choose it in the documents if you want, or desktop, your wish. Now, let's get familiar with the controls before we start coding. So, this here is the project navigator, the symbol navigator, the search navigator, the issue navigator, the debug navigator, the breakpoint navigator, the log navigator. On this side, you can see about just a minute. Yeah, here you can see about 6 icons here. These are important when you for your user interface. This is the file inspector. This is the quick help inspector, the identity inspector, the attributes inspector, size inspector, and the connection inspector. So over here, when you click at the file inspector, you can see so many different things here. It's the resource name, the file type, the location, full path, everything, and etc. Down you can see so many options here too. So template library, code snippet library, objects, and media library. You'll be using objects more often. And this is the quick help inspector. Suppose you add a round red button and click it. It shows your quick help. You can find all the codes for this button by clicking the quick help inspector and clicking reference, and it opens a coding help from xcode. uh, that's the quick help inspector. And so when you double click the button, you can edit the text. I'll just name it touch and go back to the objects and type a text field and drag it and drop it here. Here you can see the reference line. 3 lines here helps you to locate the things properly. Touch, and where we put a label and put it here. Yeah, that's fine. Now we made the user interface not so good looking, but it's basic, simple user interface. So in this application, when we touch the button, whatever we write in the text box, it shows in the label. So how do you do that? First, the user interface is created. This is how the user interface looks, and this is how you create the user interface. But it's not hooked up to the code. It's not connected to the code. So how do you do that? You can make a to editor, and editor button. Click the second button, the middle one. Make sure it's in viewcontrol.h. Right click the button, touch up inside, and drag it here. Here you can put the name, change text, and you can also do it another way. Right click and drag and drop. Here the problem is you have to make sure you choose action and make sure it's type UI button and etc. So if you just right click, drag, touch up inside and just drag it, everything will be set. You just need to give it a name, and that's how you connect the button. When you double click the label, you can edit the text of the label too. So this is an outlet, the button is an action. So for the text, we'll just right click and drag it to the code. You can name it UI text. And the label, this again is an outlet, so you don't need to right click touch up inside and all, just drag it, right click, drag it, or control click and drag it to the code. And let's put the name as UI label. That's fine. And so now it's connected to the codes. Let's go to the view control.m. Make sure these are synthesized. It should be synthesized automatically, and by mistake if you delete this, make sure you do that. Otherwise the codes won't be really connected to the user interface. And here at the end bottom you can see IB action change text ID sender curly bracket open and curly bracket close. Here you can type what you want to do with the button. When the user clicks the button or touches the button, what you want the button to do, what action do you want to take place. Okay, so what we want to do is whatever we type in the text field, when you click the touch button, it shows up in the label. Or also we can also put a hello and then the keys inside the text field. So first you have to create an ns string and give it a variable as message string alloc just a minute. As string alloc, yes, and here close the bracket here and leave space or just expand it. Use ns string message equals to ns string alloc init with format. It's not just init, but it's init with format, which allows you to put a placeholder, and you click add sign quotes open hello, message what you want to say, and person sign and add sign close code. Let me explain what this code does to you. This is, we created an ns string. It's basically a string, giving it a variable message, allocating it. We're doing init with format so that we can get a placeholder here, and to put a placeholder here I put person sign add sign. So this comma is nothing, it's included in the text, and make sure the person sign add sign is before the quotes, not after. After you do that, give it what do you want the person sign to do? Just a minute, be back. For the add sign quotes, you have to put a comma, open the brackets, and put UI text. What this does is that it actually creates a hello message. Hello, the label, the string, this ns string contains hello with the word which is put in the text field. So next we have to just a minute, curly bracket by mistake. Yeah, now the thing is set, but let's see what the output comes. Sorry. This is what happens when you open it up and when you type in Josh touch. Oh my lord, it's not working. So what do? Obviously it won't work because you're not creating anything for the label, have you? When you look here, we only have created a string which says ns message, which has a variable ns message. It also even gives a warning here, unused variable message. So uh, it's still not I mean, it's like the label does not have any property. So what is it gonna display? It is it the message has everything set up but does not display anything. So the label, you have to make the message as the label. The label's property, the value of label equals to the message, the NS string. For that, just type, open the bracket again, and you have to type in UI label. That means the label's name which you get when you're dragging and dropping into the code, UI label, and text. UI label text equals to message. So for that, set the text as message. This sets the text as the message, so when you play and when you click the button, it it shows hello with the keys inside the text field. So when you run it, you can see that it builds successfully without any issues, no warnings either. And let's type in Josh and click touch, and hello Josh, works fine. So this is our first application that we created using xcode, and we got to know more about xcode in this tutorial and the user toolbars. Well, there are a few more. We'll get along with that when you do the tutorials alongside. And I really expect you to know Objective-C. It's really recommended. You can go to lynda.com to learn Objective-C essential tutorial. It's really good. And you can also take other tutorials for Objective-C. Lynda.com tutorials free tutorial. I mean, sorry, it's a paid tutorial. You have to pay $25 a month, so you can get unlimited software tutorials. Really cool. Or if you want a free tutorial, you can go to cprogramming.com, and they provide you with C and C++ programming. Really cool, I say. But the problem is, it's really, what do you say, too simple. I mean, too texty, full of text, and there's no videos or pictures. There are codes. You can refer the codes. They explain well, but I rather prefer lynda.com. Thank you for watching. This is CodeSavvy. See you later.